Pack Nation. What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well today. So excited for our weekly live stream, baby, and also to the second running of the Tommy Tank White, Tommy Dinger White, Tommy whatever you want to call it, the National Player of the Year White, whatever nickname you want to give the man. Golly, dude. I mean, sheesh, the inspiration is real, y'all. Let's be real. This guy is absolutely just hitting baseballs like there is no tomorrows to start off this Pac-9 season. So had to go full out tonight because golly, man, that dude is unreal right now. So can I get an amen first of all from the preachers, man? Because this dude is a real deal. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, am I talking to myself or what? Sheesh. No. So jumping right into it. So again, make sure if let us know who's here, even if you don't necessarily have a question or a thought yet, whatever it is, or just hey, just give us some Tommy Tank White in the chats, whatever is want to know who's here with us. But again, appreciate y'all tuning in here. Again, we'll be talking a little bit about baseball, obviously, but also we got a huge weekend coming up here with NC State wrestling, with women's basketball as well. Talk a little bit of men's basketball as well. Can't ignore it. That at the end of the day, there's some that took place that we got to discuss. So, but first of all, obviously, we got to talk about the man that we are all dressed up here to discuss, and that is obviously again Tommy White, and also to this Pac-19. Because first of all, I'll be the first one to say that definitely when we were down at 1.6-0, and then we were down 9-3 heading into the bottom of seventh. I'll admit I was a little bit nervous. Not gonna lie, a little bit nervous, but
and
man,
cold.
the guys, yeah, but hey,
I was there. It was cold.
Yeah. So, but luckily enough, the bats were not cold starting that bottom of the seventh inning. But what a comeback for the guys. So yeah, Greg. So tell us a little bit about that, man. Again, I know you were lucky enough to be there for that game, and so what a comeback, to keep that hot streak going for the boys.
Yeah, it's really nice when your pitching isn't, where you would hope it would be, that the bats are right there for you and they can pick you up. So that's how you play complimentary baseball. But yeah, the guys hung tough. Definitely Quinnipiac helped us, looking like the Bad News Bears at times, but we took advantage of their errors, and that's what good teams do.
That's right. So yeah, Michael. So so tell me, man. So were you able to watch any of the games or keep up with them at least?
Yeah. I wasn't able to watch any of it, but I was following along on Twitter. The baseball team does a great job of keeping everybody up, and
yes,
whenever you get a Tommy White home run, you know that that
it blows
just pops up all over the timeline. Yeah, you never miss that.
It's unreal.
No. Well, and again too, because the one thing too, and Megan, I'll let you kind of talk a little bit about this, but again, the thing is, he's not just, he's a heck of a power hitter, but there was even some hits this weekend. He had a 2 RBI double, if I remember correctly, as well this weekend. So
in the seventh.
It was a nice roller, down the left field baseline, if I'm not mistaken. So again, I don't know what it is. And again, I know that like the commentators were kind of talking because he did come from IMG Academy, and so again, he came from high school, but it's not really high school. IMG Academy is basically college, like pre-college. Basically, that's a different level. Anybody knows that. So, it's unbelievable that again that we got this guy for 3 years. I can't even I can't even fathom it in my head that we literally are going to have this guy on our baseball team for this year and 2 more years. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was looking at this. Somebody, I think it's this guy named Danny Vietti on Twitter. He's one of the blue check mark guys on Twitter. He literally just said Tommy White's first 8 games as a collegiate athlete, and he just went game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4. I'm just going to read them to you for the last 3 games from the Quinnipiac series.
Mm-hmm.
He was at bat. He was 8 for 13, 4 home runs, and 14 RBIs in 3 games. That's just nuts. I don't know what the total number is, but he's got 9 home runs through 8 games, and RBIs, it's 10, 12, 18, 20, 26 RBIs through 8 games. That's just crazy. He won National Player of the Year 2nd week in a row. Like for 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks of college baseball, the same dude was the best player in all of baseball. It's just I think we put up a meme today about how like there was a picture of the guy looking at the girl and it was Tommy White, and then the girl was getting spurred by the other guy who was every other college baseball player. Like that was just he has great. And I honestly, we're talking about that, but Groover's the one who hit the home run, man.
Yeah.
Right.
And he is totally overshadowing all of the other success. JT Jarrett's having a great year.
Yeah, he's
Dom Palali
crazy.
is having a great year so far. Groover having a great year so far. The pitching's done pretty well so far this season. I mean,
And you mentioned JT Jarrett, right?
Yeah, he said Jarrett.
I said
Okay,
Jarrett.
okay, sorry.
I think it's the first name I said. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
I'm just kidding.
it's totally like we're just harping on because he was National Player of the Year. I mean, of the week, excuse me. And twice in a row, the first 2 weeks, and he's hit 9 home runs and 26 RBIs through 8 games. But those other guys, man, they are getting it done, and they just need to. I honestly want to take some time to this live stream to talk about those guys because we know what we're getting through with Tommy White at this point.
Yeah.
The nation has seen that. Everybody's in fact, if you guys haven't seen, there's that one comedic University of Virginia player. I don't think he's on the team now, or he was.
Oh, the pitcher, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
he's like basically he's got some hilarious
He's
tweets
awesome.
about Tommy White. Yeah, he was basically like, this is like Tommy White's world, and we're just living in it. It's just like it's hilarious. It's amazing the impact this guy has had. I saw another thing the ACC networks put up on their Twitter account and said, Tommy White hits 9 home runs in his first 8 games. For comparison, no player in Major League Baseball history has ever done that in college.
Yeah.
That's insane. And obviously, this is not going to continue. I do not expect this to continue. He's just having the greatest. You could argue it's the greatest start to a college career for a baseball player ever.
I don't think you can disagree with that. I mean, if it weren't true, someone would already put it on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, like, clearly,
Well,
he's the greatest start to a college player's career in baseball ever.
Well, because there was actually a Twitter feed that was discussing that from Phil Davidson saying that Tommy Tanks will probably earn back-to-back National Player of the Week. Y'all remember who was the first Pac-9 player to open a season with consecutive National Player of the Week honors was? And Tim Peeler, who Greg and everybody says, I mean, he knows it all when it comes to NC State.
He is the historian.
So he said actually Trey Turner was 9 for 17 with 7 RBIs, 9 runs, 8 stolen bases through 5 collegiate starts. Or Holly Springs' Matt Mangini, who had 20 hits in his first 25 at bats. So he hit an 800 in the first 25 at bats.
I mean, that's pretty good, but not the power numbers that Tommy White has.
Well, of course.
I'm trying to look what his numbers are.
Also, let's put this into perspective while Macon looks that up. Last year's RBI total for the ACC was 66 RBIs. Tommy White has 29 already.
That is crazy.
For the NC State, right?
NC State.
For ACC, the leader in RBIs last year was 66.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the leader. I missed that word. Okay.
Yeah, the leader in the ACC last year was 66. A guy from FSU. I don't know the name, so I apologize for that kid that did well.
Yeah.
But Tommy's already got 29 in 9 games.
He's halfway there through. 9 games.
And we got 56 games.
So before we continue with this conversation, I want to give a quick shout out to those in the chat. So Hunter Smith said nice shades, appreciate it. Also said National Player of the Year again. Yep. Colby said, "Hey, what's up, boys? What's going on, Colby? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in, man." Tommy the Body White, yeah, the body. I like that. White.
I like that one.
Russell also points out no major leaguer has ever hit 9 and 8, just like I think Macon was saying as well.
Yeah.
Tommy White has more home runs than most teams. Yeah, getting at that graphic. That graphic that's been going around is insane.
That was insane.
And then out of the 250 Division I schools, Tommy White is doing better than 240 of them.
Yep. Saw that one too. Yep.
And then lastly, Justin Cook said, "What's up, Tommy White fan club?" Yep. What's going on, Justin? Thanks for tuning in, man.
Yep.
So
Mr. Baseball himself.
Exactly. So jumping in, because I think Make is 100% correct that, I mean, as much as obviously we love Tommy White, I mean, look at us. You got to give, first of all, props to, JT Jarrett. Because, I mean, again, believe it or not, he's actually leading the team in batting average right now with a 591 batting average, while Tommy White has a 588 batting average. Now, again, obviously JT only has 1 home run, but still, again, this guy has been getting on base. He has been productive right now, and he's still got an 864 slugging percentage as well. So I mean, again, that's what I'm saying is that, I mean, it's kind of like having like a Bradley Chubb defensive line with Street, BJ Hill, and Justin Jones. It's like at the end of the day, there's only like, Bradley Chubb got all of the light, but like you take away Bradley
that
Chubb
was
and
crazy
you would have
good.
been thrilled with Justin Jones, BJ Hill, or Street. And just like in this case, you take away Tommy White, you are like, this would be the JT Jarrett fan club right now. That's really where I am. So
Yeah, really.
But let's not forget, though, JT Jarrett's injury in the first game actually led the way for Gruber to be put in the lineup to hit that walk-off home run. So in a twist of irony, we hope obviously JT gets well. Hopefully it's just a minor strain on the hamstring. But Gruber wasn't even in the lineup, and then he gets put in, and then boom, two-run dinger to cap the comeback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's true. That's a good point.
I'm trying to look up the stats here. I found that the guy's name, that pitcher for Virginia, his name was Stephen Schock. And he said one of his was we may never see a video of Tommy White hitting a ball that stays in the yard, and that's just something we need to learn to accept.
That's a good one.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, I feel like we're just we've given Tommy White his due and his what he deserves as far as recognition, and the fan praise and all that. But man, some of these guys are doing really, really well for NC State, and they deserve to be recognized about and talked about.
Well, and again, because we literally have 7 players right now that are hitting over 300 batting average right now, which again, I mean, obviously, the like Noah Solis only has 21 at bats, but still, again, I mean, I'm telling you that there's 7 right now that are hitting above a 300, 8 games in, which, it's something, because especially too, again, because the biggest worry I think all of us had was losing 7 starters from last year's team, saying, where are we going to get, the guys to replace this? And I can tell you that again, so that means that 5 players that weren't on the team that's last year are hitting above a 300 right now. So you got to feel great about that right now. You got to.
Yeah. And Belk Wolfpack put up a good comment there. And that was the same thing I was going to make the comment too, is our second, I hate to call them second stringers, but whatever you want to call them, our second level guys. That second game, they inserted them in the lineup. There was no drop off. We scored. I think it was 16-4, and that was only 7 innings. They finally called it. The weather was junky, so there was no drop off offensively on that second game.
Yeah, I'm looking here too. Just a fun fact. I don't know if everybody's done the math, but State for the average runs a game. State's averaging 14 runs a game.
Yeah,
they've scored 112 runs in 8 games,
which is insane.
Yeah.
So no, it's so again. I mean, obviously, LeJames Gruber. I mean, gotta be thrilled for him. Definitely loved seeing the energy from him when he hit that walk-off home run. And again, just to be able to fight back. Again, from being 6 down to end up winning in a walk-off fashion. Just I think says a lot in terms of where this team's mindset's at. And because the one thing which I will mention, which was the kind of the worry thing, which because I was actually talking with my family about this. Obviously Matt Willitson did have his best start, obviously on Saturday. Obviously giving up 4 runs in the first inning. But I was saying, I mean, Matt Wilson's a guy that he has a ton of experience. At the end of the day, in the grand scheme of things, as amazing as the start has been, there's still a ton of baseball left. We really haven't played that much baseball already. And, that was only Wilson's second start of the season. So, I feel like, and again, I mean, let me know what you guys think, but I mean, from my perspective, I'm sitting here saying, I'm not worried whatsoever about Matt Wilson. He'll get it figured out. I mean, this is a guy that has started for us many, many, many times and has done an amazing job at it. So, and obviously, with him coming in pretty much set as the Saturday starter by Avent and Chrysler, I think that pretty much speaks within itself the confidence that they have in him. So I kind of took it as just brush it off, and it more than likely it'll be the not so common result with Matt Wilson starts.
Yeah.
That's really my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, baseball is just such a streaky sport. I mean, Tommy White will go through a stretch probably this season where he'll have a bad couple games, but that's just how it goes. Same thing with pitchers. They may have a rough outing, but they'll bounce back, especially a guy with as much experience as Matt, like you said.
Yeah. Matt started 2 games. He's got a 6.48 ERA, so he's not had a great start out. But some other guys who have, I mean, so far, even Sam Heitfield, he's had 2 games he started. He's got 1 win, but he's got a 4.82 ERA. Again, we're talking through 2 games.
They pulled him on Friday with a little bit of tightness, so he didn't get. He could have probably gone a few more and probably lowered that ERA a little bit.
Right. But I'm just kind of going to read these right here. Logan Whitaker's got a 0 ERA. He's got 1 game started and 1 win already. He had a great game. That was 6.16 innings and 1 out. He pitched. Garrett Payne's 1.5 ERA, 6 innings. David Harrison 2.31 ERA with 11.2. So David Harrison has pitched the most innings for this team at this point. But yeah, I think that the pitching will come. I think it's just crazy to me that we're just killing teams offensively, and the pitching is again, pitching not bad. It's just, I mean, you don't need to worry about it right now. I mean, you needed to a little bit for that game against Quinnipiac. My brother even texted me. He's like, man, Quinnipiac's good. So I don't know. The pitching will get there. I'm not worried about that.
Well, and pitching's a lot different when you're pitching with a lead. I mean, you want to throw strikes, so so the other team's going to hit the ball. That gives more opportunity for ERA to spike a little. But at the end of the day, it's about wins and losses, and we're 8-0. So at this point, we're just splitting hairs.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So again, so I think here we got a game at Clemson on Wednesday at 5 p.m. Sorry, Campbell. Sorry, not Clemson. Campbell, the other C school.
UCLA,
Campbell.
man. UCLA, University of Campbell, between Lillington and Andrew.
Oh, I like that one. That's good. That's good. That's good.
And then obviously we got a series against Northeastern, correct?
Yeah.
Or Northeastern, not Northwestern. Yeah.
Yeah. Northeastern, I was the other directional school.
Yeah. So that's an upcoming series.
Yeah.
So jumping in, so now that we've talked about something awesome, obviously, got to talk about, go ahead and get out of the way since it is negative, obviously, and obviously, tough loss to Carolina, 84-74 for men's basketball. So Macon, I'll hand it to you first, because one of the biggest things I want to specifically talk about is after the game. I don't know how much you read of it, but after the game, Keats was asked about kind of his thoughts on the current state of the program and the future state of the program. Do you have any kind of initial thoughts on when you read or heard his response to that?
I just think what's the guy going to say? Yeah, we suck, and he kind of should say it, but I mean, to me, I kind of read it's like this is such a joke. Like he had a quote, I think actually coming out of the Boston College game, that was something along the lines of, we have to, in order to win, we have to play well. I'm like, well, duh. That's a dumb quote. And he has some quotes like, I'm happy where our program is, and something to that effect. And I'm like, really? Maybe and he's talking about the fight. What he's trying to say is, I like the fight I see from the guys still. But man, I don't know. I was not thrilled. I wasn't angry or upset. I was just baffled those were the quotes coming out of it. And it wasn't I haven't really seen him take much ownership. It's probably a good way to put it. He's spinning it in a positive light and trying to take that approach versus being, yeah, guys, I know I gotta figure something out. I take the ownership and he's not really doing that which he needs to, I feel like. And man, I just don't get these quotes. Some of them are really they seem disconnected. He's disconnected from a little bit of reality a little bit. I don't know if that's the reality of it, but it seems that way.
Well, but the only issue I really have with the comments really is that basically at the end he says, I do feel like that we would have been anywhere from a top 25 to a top 30 program with Manny Bates, but unfortunately we don't. So I'm excited about the future. So that basically almost comes off to me that basically that he basically is telling us without telling us directly that basically when Manny Bates went down the first game, that almost in the back of his head he went, yeah, that's going. I mean that's basically where we're going to end up, because basically that's without saying it. That's basically what we're saying, that without Manny Bates, we could have been this, but we're not.
But to me, that's just like we've taught this before, and I'll say it again. Like, the reason we're losing is not because of Manny Bates. Like,
right.
We don't go, put it this way. We don't. So who's ranked in the ACC right now is probably a good place to start at this point.
Just Duke.
Just Duke. Okay. So just Duke. Okay. Put that in mind. Number 2, Notre Dame, I think, is not ranked. And maybe their friend, do you guys know what Paul or Joe Lunardi has them ranked as? What seed?
I saw them as like a 6 or a 7 the last time I saw.
Okay, so let's say Notre Dame is 25 or 30. Okay, that's basically what he's saying. He's saying with one player, we go from last in the league to second best team in the ACC. Do you guys really believe that?
I don't.
No. Come on. Like, I do think we would have won more games, but no, I don't buy that. We would have won more games. We would probably be. Now, would we be like kind of where we projected to be finished? Probably. And again, do I understand not having Bates, not having Gant? You kind of were hoping Gant would be able to be available this season. You're not there. Ernest Ross gets injured. Casey Morcell got injured.
Right when he's taken off.
Yeah, Casey Morcell got injured. Thomas Allen's now injured. So
Dewana was out for a couple.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get that side of it. But you can't tell me one guy makes you go from last to second in the ACC this year. I don't see that. Greg, that's high cotton is what they would say.
Greg, anything to add?
No, I mean, Macon's right. You probably win, 1 or 2 of the non-conference games that we lost. You probably win maybe 3, maybe 4 ACC games more. So you're probably looking at 8, 9 instead of 14. Like 10, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
That's still not good enough. That's not getting you. This year. It's not getting you in the ACC tournament. I'm sorry, the NCAA tournament with as bad as the ACC is. And that's the other point that Macon was making. As bad as this league is, that's how bad we are.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point.
I saw one of the NC State news organizations put up that, like, in the first 20 shots, were only taken by Smith and Sebron. Nobody else took a shot. And that's like the first 7-8 minutes of the game. That cannot happen. I saw someone else put out a tweet that that showed the number of possessions, that had 1 pass, another possession that had 2 passes, another possession that had 3 passes. And I mean, it was like a severe drop off beyond when you got to the three possessions that had 3 passes or more. It was like during the Carolina game, it was like 2 or 3. Yeah. And we're just not, it's just so much ISO basketball. I don't see us running anything really. I mean, pick and roll, Darion Sebron and the Terquavian Smith show.
Sprinkled in with Helms.
Yeah. I mean, Helms had a night. Helms led the team in scoring going into halftime. Just believe it or not, just don't. So,
but again, go ahead, Greg.
No, I was going to say, it goes back to the point you're making. What does that all come down to? No point guard play. And how many times have you guys said we need a floor general? And those passes come from the point. And when you have 1-2 passes in a possession, that means you're not distributing the ball. It's one dribble, one pass, a shot.
Yep. But see, you just can't make quotes like that. That's not fair to the player, to be honest with you. It's like, oh, if you would have been here, we've been top 25 or top 25. Come on,
it's a crutch.
Yeah, it's a crutch. Yeah. You're kind of saying, well, the rest of the guys suck. It wasn't for the other guy, that one guy there. It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I get it.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
If your car, you have one of the major parts of your car broken down, your car's just not going to run well. I totally get that. It's just, there's no way. I mean, like, you can't. I'm not buying that we go from last to second like that with one player.
No,
it's too easy.
No,
it's too easy.
I think I think having Cam Hayes struggling and not having, like he said, not having a good point.
Did we lose him?
Oh, no, am I here? Sorry. You got me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. Sorry. Yeah, no,
I didn't
sorry,
hear
guys.
Michael. Sorry, I didn't hear Michael.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no. Again, Beck Wolfpack there says it. You know, if we were supposed to be this good coming in, shouldn't we be able to adapt? And really talking about Keats for next season, like again, it all comes down to next season, whether Dillingham comes or not. At the end of the day, no matter who stays healthy or not, at the end of the day, we need to see a step forward next season. If we do not see a step forward next season, no matter who gets injured, no matter what happens, then if we don't see a step forward, I don't think we could take another risk on another year with Keith. We just can't do it. You know, I'll be honest with you, it's embarrassing and it blows that in Hubert Davis's first year we couldn't get one win against him. You know, and especially since to get blown out the way we did. I mean, again, the scores in both games really didn't really reflect how bad we really did get beat, honestly. So
and they're a bubble team.
Yeah, a bubble team at best.
And I'll tell you guys, I think I'm at the point now. I'm just done with Keats. I think about it more and more. Like Boo Corrigan has nothing to lose letting him go, but if he keeps him, he's going to lose some of the fan base. And I just don't think you can bank on the talk this week and this weekend was, oh well, maybe there's some rumblings that Dillingham might reclassify. We've talked about that, and maybe he can bring in some impact transfers. But
yeah,
I just don't, guys. I've seen it. For me, I think I'm kind of. That's just where I'm at. I'll be just upfront about it.
Yep. Well, and to answer your question, Beg Wolfpack, about does Cam stay? I mean, you know, I will be shocked, honestly, if he did. I think that because it's so obvious and it's so key this offseason that Keats has to get a grad transfer point guard, not like a freshman point guard, a grad transfer. He needs somebody who has done it at the Power 5 level in against some of the best competition college basketball has to offer, and he needs to bring them in and run the show. That I think that's as clear as day. Just like it was, and hopefully he learned from his unfortunate mistake of not going after an experienced big to replace Manny Bates, and hopefully he makes up for that this offseason. So if assuming that he does that, I just don't see how Cam sticks around, because I mean, between that grad transfer point guard and Breon Pass, who you hope can be maybe the future of the point guard position for NC State, potentially, I don't see it, but we'll see. So
well, I'm going to add this point too. I don't even know if they need. You made the point you need to have a Power 5 guy. If some stud non-Power 5 player wants to transfer here, I'd take him. Like CJ Bryce, like for instance, like a CJ Bryce type of point guard wants to come in and play. I don't think State needs a dominant point guard to function.
You just need somebody that's proven. You can't take a risk.
So it doesn't come to me. Yeah, we don't have a playmaking point guard right now. We just don't. We don't have a rim protecting defensive presence in the paint. Nor we kind of have. I would say we do have an offensive presence, because I think Duwan has been pretty successful. To me, it's just not like that's not all it is. It's the play calling out there. It's just I know, and I'm
lack thereof.
Yeah. Like there, I'm going to get into a whole another rant. I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm getting kind of frustrated about it all. Just honest with you, I'm sure everybody is, and I'm pretty optimistic. So I'm kind of like, guys, come on, like that quote you mentioned late, and I had forgotten about it, but that does kind of take me off a little bit.
Yeah. No, I gotcha. Well, we'll jump off. But at the end of the day, guys, just again, keep in mind that again, obviously, I think I put out a tweet there. What was it on Saturday or Sunday, something like that, basically saying that between like wrestling, men's and women's tennis, between baseball, softball, and then one other sport, I can't remember who it is, that we're like 86-14 overall right now. So, and that's basically the active sports right now, besides women's basketball. That was the other one. That was the seventh one. So 86-14. So there's just so much good going on right now, currently with NC State, that at the end of the day, it's like, listen, let's focus less on the bad, let's focus on the good, because then these teams deserve our undivided attention right now because they are clicking right now, and I mean all 7 of them. Now, obviously, this coming weekend, we got 2 big opportunities here with women's basketball and wrestling. So we'll first talk about women's basketball here, because again, obviously, for those who hopefully joined us, were able to join us yesterday for our watch party for the Virginia Tech game. What a finish! I mean, definitely what a crazy finish, and was so happy for this team that they were able to pull that out. And again, I mean, obviously, Elizabeth Kitley seems like between her, Kunane, and then the UNC player seems
Kelly
to be kind of the 3-headed monster of who's going to be AC Player of the Year. And so because it was a tough environment. It was senior night. They're battling for a double bye. They had to win last night to get a double bye for the AC tournament. So it was a big game last night for Virginia Tech. You knew you were going to get their best. And so to be able to stand up to it, even like when Raina Perez and Diamond Johnson didn't have their best nights, to still fill in for those 2 key players and find a way to win, I think says a lot again about this team and where they are mentally heading into the ACC tournament.
Yeah, I saw one thing. I'm pretty excited about the women's team. They're just getting it done. I had a point like why I wish they played in the evenings, but it's cool. They're doing a great job.
Yeah,
I would say that was probably the toughest environment they've played in all year. And we didn't play. We
have
didn't
a
play
chance to see them again too.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
I'm hoping actually, because we don't want to see Carolina win. Now, I think Carolina would be the easier opponent. I think we match up much better with Carolina than we do.
I agree.
Tech.
We do.
Just because of the Keatley and gosh dang it, I forgot their shooter. Thank you, Aisha Shepard. Yeah. So I mean, they do present matchup problems. But having the deep bench that we have, that really helped us yesterday when Perez and Diamond weren't performing their best. We had other folks step up, and that's what you need from a championship pedigree.
Yep. And obviously,
one quick note. I saw in the chat that there was a question about what's Keats' contract. I think someone asked that question. Yeah, just so everybody knows, it's 4 years left, $2.7 million per year, so $10.8 million left on his contract. For the record, then we can move on. I just want to make sure I saw that question.
So basically, $11 million to buy him out, and another 10 or so to buy the next coach in. So you're looking at $20 million. Now, granted, you can negotiate a buyout. You can usually negotiate that down a little bit, but I mean, you're looking at $15 to $80 million to bring in the next coach.
Yep. Yeah. I realized that was a change of subject, but I just saw the question.
No, that's a good point.
I could answer that real quick.
But 3 big things I loved seeing yesterday. First of all, obviously, got to give hats off to Kayla Jones for passing 1,000 career points.
Oh yeah,
for women's basketball for her career. So hats off to her on that. Amazing accomplishment for her. And again, I mean, I think that all of us can truly say that I think all of us would not have been shocked whatsoever if she decided after last season to go to WNBA. But for her to choose to come back and finish off, because she felt like she had some unfinished business, was awesome. So
she's made history. She's made history not only with her 1,000 points, but she's was part of the team to get the first regular season title in 32 years.
And now she has 2 more trophies to get. So but then 2 other things. So first of all, loved seeing a start strong from the tip off. Because I know that's something we've seen multiple times from the team this year is slow starts. We dig ourselves these holes and then we have to dig our way out. But in this point, we actually led the entire game. There was actually not a single point during the entire game where Virginia Tech led. And I think that is great to see heading into AC tournament / March Madness. Again, the mindset of we need to hit the gas pedal from the moment go, from the moment the green flag goes, So, and then the third thing was Alyssa Kunane. We were saying this, Greg and I were saying this last night, that last night you truly saw what we all expect. Because I know that Alyssa Kunane, she also has had some games this year where she's not played her best. And obviously that combined with her not getting a ton of minutes, obviously, because, a lot of games we've taken care of business and they put in Camille Hobby and Sophie Hardin. But for Kunane to really take over last night and play really, really well on both sides of the ball was like, yep, that's exactly what I expected. So I think that she made a great case there to wrap up the regular season for why she should be ACC Player of the Year. But either way, the thing I love about her is I know that she's not going to lose one bit of sleep over it if she doesn't get it. At the end of the day, if she can hang her hat on an ACC national championship, I think she'll take that all day and twice on Tuesday over any ACC Player of the Year honor, which is something I love about her and the whole team. I think the whole team is in that exact same boat. So,
yeah, I mean it's good to see her playing well at the end of the season. That's when you need to have your best players playing well, especially in tournament time.
Yeah.
And I'll make the argument why she won't be Player of the Year. Because we can't always be biased here, right? But we want to love on our players and everything. But honestly, the only reason she's not going to get it is because Coach Moore held her back in a couple of games with like you were making the point that we just haven't always needed her. She was only averaging, the last time I saw, 24, 25 points a game. There's a lot of players out there, especially your bigs, that you're going to play more. They're going to play 35, 37 minutes. And I've made this point before. 10 points, she can get you another 4, 5, 6 points. And so, her average would be right around 20 points a game. And unfortunately, the ACC voters don't always look at the whole body of work, right? And they don't take everything into consideration. That they love their numbers and their stats and people that get a lot of press. And because the team is so deep, she's not always the focal point.
Yeah, absolutely. Making anything to add on that?
We lost his audio.
Oh, lost him real quick. But yeah, no. Again,
here you go. I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
I was going to say one thing I was going to add that's a little bit different than what you guys had noted was Elisa, when they needed a bucket down that stretch when it's really tight, they went to her.
Yeah,
and it was just like,
as they should.
That's, to me, that is good coaching.
Yep.
That's good coaching. And do I think he'd do the same thing? Probably. He probably would go to his best guy. He goes to Seaburn all the time. But in that case, when it was tight, they can't beat you. Why, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, kind of thing. Just keep going to her. And they did. They went to their best player, counted on her, and Elisa delivered. It really seemed like when they needed a bucket, when that tight stretch, it seemed like there's moments there, particularly when it was like 2 points, kick it in to Elisa and let her do her job. So she did. Yep. And that, to me, that's like, that is dominant basketball. It's like, I can go get a bucket when I want to, basically, and you can't stop me.
Yeah.
And you can try, you can foul me, and a lot of times they did. So that's just really good basketball. Again, to be honest, that's what Carolina did against NC State in men's basketball. They just went to Baycott and they're like, you can't stop him. And or even that
Brady Manick.
The white guy, Brady Manick. The 4, he plays the 4 for them. Not going to stop him. So good job for Elise on that regard. I just thought that was a strong way to end a regular season. I thought, I mean, you got to win, but it's how you got the win. It was like, yeah, we fought hard, but we didn't have to like break our leg to do it. It was just like, yeah, they pushed, try to take us over, but we didn't let it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you were saying that, making that reminded me of a stat that I saw today. Cunane, for all her offensive greatness, she held Keatley without a bucket in the second half.
Wow.
That's huge too.
Impressive.
Before.
Yeah. So let's not overlook that part of her game too, right? So when you're voting.
And remind me too, Greg. So also Keatley entered the second half with no fouls. Am I correct on that?
That's correct. And she
ended up with 4 fouls.
Yep.
So again, I think that also speaks a lot to not only Cunane, but coaching as well. Because again, I think you and I were both saying, Greg, that you got to be more aggressive. You got to get her in foul trouble. You got to get Virginia Tech a little bit nervous about her being on the floor. You got to. You don't have a choice. She's too good. You can't let her feel roam free and no worries whatsoever. Just play her game. Like, no, you need to make her worried about making that block. You need to make her worried about, going in hard for that layup. Like, you need that in her head.
Let her know you're there.
Exactly. So I want to touch on a couple of comments. So Mary said, I was glad to see Cunane have a good game. I feel like she's been a hit or miss with some of her games recently. Absolutely. Hunter says that she struggles with physical matchups occasionally. I mean, I would say that, yeah, I mean, obviously she's at the end of the day, physics is physics, forces, mass times acceleration. So the more mass is there, the more force is going to be. And obviously Cunane, yeah, she's not the thickest, player out there, obviously on the court. And then there's going to be times where she's not. And And but then it comes down to coaching, and it comes down to her will to get the stop. Simple as that. And I mean, because she's got all the techniques down, and whatever it takes to stop whoever she wants. And obviously, she has the players around her to help her if needed. So that's the one thing I will say is a coach like Wes Moore and the coaching staff that he has around him. I wouldn't be worried whatsoever if there was if we face somebody in the tournament or in the NCAA tournament, or it was a broader woman that obviously could probably back her in, that they'll adjust for that. I'm very confident in that. And because again, one thing I want to continue to say as well is, again, you got Camille Hobby, but even Sophie Hard as well. Like, I truly do believe, like last night we were kind of talking because Camille Hobby had 2 fouls, Kanane had 2 fouls. Like, if it really gets to it, we might see Sophie Hart tonight. Which, I mean, in the few minutes that she has played, she's been solid. So I mean, it's not like, oh man, Sophie's going in, like this is not good. Like, no. Like, I truly do believe that if we had to, at the end of the day, we'd feel confident putting in there a couple minutes just to kind of give Kanane some rest, or get take him off the floor for a minute here. But again, hopefully we don't ever have to be in that situation. But I'm just pointing out that just speaks on the depth of this team a little bit. You know what I mean? I just want to point that out.
Yeah, when your third stringer is a 5-star recruit, that's a luxury to have.
Oh, it's a beautiful luxury. Beautiful luxury.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure we're probably the only school out there that has a third string 5-star recruit at center.
Yeah, but also too probably the best.
We are the Kentucky of the world, or Sky Kite.
It's nice to be a blue collar school for women's basketball.
But I'll tell you though, I can't I'm super excited about the AC tournament. I mean, obviously I'm going to be there with a buddy of mine all day on Friday, so look forward to seeing it. But I'll tell you, one of the things I was really thinking about today was NCAA tournament this year for women's basketball. It's going to be very, very interesting, specifically because obviously South Carolina is clicking right now. Stanford's kind of a dark horse right now. Nobody's really talking about them a whole lot, but then they are the number 2 team in the country. State is up there, and then but also too with UConn. Even I think Paige Beckers, I think is how you say her last name.
Yeah.
Who I think was one of the top recruits, like 1 or 2 in her entire class for her recruiting class. She's been out with injuries. She's back. And
she's coming
back.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that will bring UConn back into that national title talk. So I mean, it's going to be a really, really exciting finish. So I would definitely plead all NC State fans to, strap yourselves in, because I mean, starting Friday, it's going to be a crazy journey for this women's basketball team. I'm telling you that right now. It's going to be crazy. Yeah. It's going to be awesome.
And Iowa too, they got that Caitlin. I don't know her.
Oh yeah, that girl just Caitlin Clark. I think
she's like the
from
female
everywhere.
Steph Curry. Yeah. She shot it from the logo last night. I was like, holy moly!
I've seen that.
Yeah.
So, but talking a little bit more. So got to give obviously we got about 15 minutes left here. Want to give a couple of other shouts as well. Obviously, men's and women's tennis right now are, I mean, just they're unbelievable right now. Again, I mean, there's no doubt that Coach Ershaw and the rest of that staff, is it's literally over these last couple of years that things have just been getting better and better and better, and I just don't see an end in sight. I mean, right now, women's tennis is about as proven as of a top contender team as I've ever seen. I mean, like literally, I mean, they've faced probably eight or 9 probably top 25 teams and have beaten most of them. I think maybe only lost to one of them, maybe. But obviously beat number 3 Texas. Again, that's why I'm saying is I can't preach enough right now. That I mean, like I remember seeing somebody say like they're talking about like what is the state of Pac Athletics, and if anybody else, like between what's going on in football right now, but also with every other sport except for men's basketball, I mean, how can you not say that the state of Pac Athletics is not probably as good now as it's ever been in the history of NC State athletics? I mean, seriously, it's an amazing time. I want to pinch myself, like honestly.
Don't pinch yourself, Layton. That could hurt.
It's just crazy though. Like, I mean,
No, it is. It is. I mean, because me and Layton watched the game together, the NC State UNC basketball game together Saturday at 2:00, and I mean, we could talk about it a little bit, but it's beyond men's basketball. What sport is really flailing right now? There's nothing. Softball, baseball, football. Football is always the biggest one. We love, everybody follows football. But women's tennis, men's tennis beat Carolina the other day, and it was like a week or so ago, and that was a big win for them. It was the first time they had done that in a few years, like 7-8 years, something like that.
It was like 2012, something like that. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, something like that. 10 years maybe. And did it at Carolina, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they did.
It's your basketball is everybody wants basketball to do great. I get it. We've won 2 national titles, but that is skewing the whole of how you're living in a historical time for NC State athletics, in my opinion. It's just it's just like a big skew because basketball is not doing well. It'd be like if basketball is great but football stunk. It'd be the same kind of thing. It's just everything is thriving. One thing I like to point out too, just to gain credit, kind of just a little nugget there. Again, a lot of these hires were Debbie Yao hires. So I'm just really she saw a lot. Obviously the Keats hire was her hire too. But the everything for the most part, except for like Coach Raw, the track coach Raleigh. He was there before her. But it's just it's really cool. When you go to a game anywhere, but right now besides men's basketball, and that'll turn around at some point, but new coach or not. When you go to a game anywhere, you can pick a sport, and you can expect gymnastics. You can expect to do well. It's
even
just
teams like
fun.
Softball and volleyball are on the up.
Yes.
Softball's had a few walk-off game-winning home runs already.
Best
14
start program history.
That's right.
14 and 2. 14 and 2.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And I mean, our volleyball coach has got a gold medal to his resume, and he's bringing in some good, solid folks. So that's a program on the rise. So watch out for them. Granted, that's a fall sport, right? I'm trying to remember.
Yes. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So soccer's been good. I mean, we've made the playoffs, the NCAA tournament. The women did really well this year. So they're good. The men are doing. I think they had like number top 5 or 8 recruiting class coming in. I think for men's soccer, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
So there's potential there in the next year or two. So I think we're in a golden age, especially
hockey.
Can't forget about hockey. Obviously, and definitely, and thanks for saying that, because again, heartbreak obviously for Ice Pack, who lost their first game of the regional tournament to the University of Penn. So their season is unfortunately over, but again, there's still no doubt that obviously, winning 3 back-to-back ACHL titles, combined with all that they did last season, getting very close to winning a national title last year, that again, there's no doubt that Coach Will Healy and these guys have this program heading in the right direction. And again, we've talked a ton about it. So, but again, sad to see them, but I know that bigger and better things are coming here in the near future. But 2 other things I want to talk about real quickly before we get off here. First of all, obviously, I don't think we've even mentioned yet about Dave Doran's extension, which was put out there as well. I think honestly, part of it's just because it was just like an expectation of it was a matter of time, until it was going to happen. So, but obviously getting $5 million a year, contract extension was awesome. And the one thing that still bugs me to this day, and again, I know any fan base is always going to have it. There's still going to be a couple of people out there that still are not sold that Doran deserved that contract extension. And to you, I say, why? I mean, well, literally only because he has not won ACC title yet. That's the reason why. That's the one bad thing about him.
I have been on some of these forums on different websites for NC State related stuff. And I don't see many people just hating on Doran anymore. Really, no. I look at those things a lot. I love seeing that kind of stuff. I just don't see it as much anymore. It's like, because he beat Clemson, because he had the comeback win against Carolina, because he virtually was 10-win season. If not for that UCLA forfeit.
And how he
got
handled
the
that
money
game.
off. He got the monkey off his back. He has gotten ranked wins. I mean, the guy's doing it. He's bringing in really good recruiting talent now.
He went undefeated at home. He went undefeated at home.
When was the last time that happened? I mean, like we've talked about this enough, and we were going to certainly get into it the more further we go down the towards the fall. And maybe I'm sure we'll do a lot of talking about this, looking at roster and stuff in the summertime. But it's great. I don't see many people talking about it more. I think the haters have shut themselves up a little bit.
And so the Rays makes him the second highest paid coach in the ACC officially, because I think Dave Clawson got an extension and a raise. So, but they're a private school.
What's Dabo's?
Yeah, we won't know.
Dabo's
Dabo's almost 10 million.
Yeah, he's
in 9 and some change.
And what'd you say Clawson's was?
We don't know because it's a private school. But at Narduzzi is like 4.8.
Investigators go figure it out there.
Yeah. But again, deservedly so. Again, I mean, he if I'm not mistaken, he's the second winning. We're the second winningest team in the last 5 years when it comes to records in the ACC. Yep. So again, you
potentially. That's not out of the question. It's not out of the question yet that you may have the number 1 pick in the draft in Iguanu.
Possible.
Did you look at the recruitings stuff, the projections and stuff? Like Pro Football Focus loves NC State players because they don't look at rankings and it's Bama, we're going to skew it this way, or it's Georgia. They look at film. When you see these recruiting rankings, sometimes like the performance of players, like State's right in there with Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, Ohio State, Michigan. The State is right there.
I think in the last 5 years,
Oklahoma,
we're in the top 10,
Florida,
10 or 15 in draft picks. So, I mean, it's, we're sneaky good putting out prospects that most of the country is sleeping on us.
But see, I don't think it's going to be sneaky much longer. I think there's people who out there who've known and who are like the really in-depth studiers of that, who kind of really do look on Twitter and follow Pro Football Focus and those kind of things and look at the ranking stuff. But, I don't think it's going to be a secret much longer. It's like, State does. There's something going on at NC State, basically.
Something in the water.
Well, so again, to prove the point in terms of that, we're not going to be sneaky much longer. So remind me, Megan, you said this, but Jermaine Pratt, he had the highest rating of any Super Bowl defensive player, or is it linebacker?
I think it was linebacker.
I think it was linebacker. Yeah.
Linebacker?
Either way,
for like the last 20, like
he outplayed Von Miller.
Yeah. So again, like that, literally that's an NC State guy, the guy that by Pro Football Grade had the best game from a linebacker side and however many Super Bowls.
Buda Baker a linebacker?
He's a tweener, I think.
Yeah, he's a tweener.
Yeah. So, kind of a tweener too,
but again, guys like that, guys like Jacoby Myers, people are talking about Jacoby Myers right now. People are talking about, again, like Bradley Chubb, obviously, Garrett Bradbury with that insane catch, So again, they're talking about NC State right now in the NFL. Joe Thuney. That's
so right, you call him Thuney? It's Thuney.
I do.
Come on, dog.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna go sit in the corner.
So again, we're talked about, and again, we'll talk more as we get closer, but just want to give a huge congrats to Coach Doran, to the staff. So much deserved. Love everything that's going on in this program right now. Every single piece right now of this program. Love every bit of it. Let's keep it rolling here.
So I have a Dave Doran serious question. This is a thumbs up, thumbs down question.
Okay.
Dave Doran, beard, no beard.
I don't know.
Do you guys see the picture from the game?
He looks good with it, but he's never had one,
I know.
I don't want to mess up the mojo.
I like the
personally.
beard.
I think he would look good in the off season. Like I feel like that's good for the off season. It's like
So here's
all business. He's all business during the season. Then he's like cool.
I like Mountain Man Dave. I like salty Mountain Man. NCAA stands for no clue at all. That's that's the Dave Doran I want.
But here's the tiebreaker of why everybody should vote for the beard, is because if there's one thing which I know, and I've said this a couple of times, is that Dave Doran is a very superstitious guy, And so one thing I know is that there's a tradition which I know that I'm pretty sure he's a part of as well, which is that you don't shave your beard until you lose a game. So I mean I would not be surprised whatsoever if that's something he believes in. That's something he does.
When did he start it? He started it after the season was over, it's like doesn't really matter.
Well, but I'm just saying I know he's a very superstitious guy, so I would not be surprised. Hopefully maybe he can buy into that, and hopefully come late December he has a huge beard. But go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I'm just thinking maybe he was doing that the whole season. Like the losses were kind of spread out, so his beard would have never gotten that long.
Right, exactly. So
I just wanted to throw it out there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, but can't get off obviously without talking a little bit about in-state wrestling, because obviously they have a huge weekend coming up here in the AC tournament in Charlottesville, Virginia. Again, live storylines on the line here. I'm very, very confident NC State as a team will be able to come out of it, hopefully, with the ACC title. We always do very well when it comes to ACC tournaments. And I think we've won at least the last 3 in a row, actually, AC tournaments. So definitely not saying it's a gimme by any stretch of the measure, but I'm saying I feel pretty confident. But looking more towards the individual's perspective, because obviously, Tariq Wilson, this is the first. He's only won one ACC title, and it was in the 141 pound division. Now he's in 149. And then Hayden Hidley. Again, all those who follow us know that we have a huge challenge out to him right now to fill the collage, and it's going to be a tough one. Obviously, going back, probably maybe facing Clay Lout again, probably maybe facing Mekhi Lewis again as well. So again, it's not going to be an easy road, but I mean, hey, I don't think he would want it any differently. I think he wants another shot at Clay Lout. I think he wants another chance to hopefully take care of Mekhi Lewis during regular time. But again, it's my hope and my prayer is that because both the championship games for women's basketball and wrestling happen on Sunday, is that Sunday is a very, very, very great day for in-state athletics. That is my hope and prayer. So,
this will be the first year I'll have watched the wrestling. So definitely gotten into it this year, and I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and because if not mistaken, Greg, you're going to be joining there with me. Am I correct on that?
I have committed to make the drive down to Charlottesville for Sunday. Yes.
Let's go.
Nice.
So, again, and I'll say this again, that obviously it was a heartbreak to learn the news that women's basketball tournament was happening at the same time as ACC wrestling tournament. But again, hopefully with me being there all day on Friday, hopefully that makes up for it somewhat, for the women's basketball side. But I also feel very confident as well that if we make it to Sunday, that Wolfpack Nation will fill Greensboro up on Sunday. I'm very, very confident.
Yeah, for sure.
That. Yeah, we always show it well there.
I remember watching it last year, just kind of, I was coming back from, I think it was Charleston. I remember just seeing that. It was awesome.
Yeah. No.
Was last year when Raina hit the shot, or was it the year before?
Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, it's still vivid. I mean, she did a little twist and then
she did the pump. She did the pump kind of thing.
Yep. Little.
Hey, Ovius and Giglio said it best. It might sound insane, but don't double Kunane. Blaming on the rain.
Yeah. This might be the time to adjourn the Tommy White Fan Club second edition.
Just saying. Yes. Oh, no, this has been a fun one, y'all.
If there's a girl who hits a game winner shot again, are we all going to come with like really long hair and makeup on in her house? Like, no, I'm not doing it.
No, I can't.
I don't know.
Maybe we'll get our wives and significant others on.
Yeah. Our wives sit in for us, and they'll be like, hi, my name's Nathan, and my name's Leighton.
Oh, I've said it. That's awesome. All right. Yeah. So anyway, y'all, well, thank you all so much again for tuning in here. Again, really do appreciate y'all, and hopefully y'all enjoy this live stream and the second edition of the Tommy White Fan Club. So again, make sure, again, if you haven't already, again, hit that subscribe button so that way you're notified whenever we do any more live stream content, whenever we release new episodes. Also, too, please give this video and all of our videos a like, again, so that way the YouTube algorithm will get it out to more NC State fans. And also, obviously, if you haven't already, give us a follow, Tuffy Talk now. Obviously, we got a huge weekend coming up here, and we're going to be talking a lot about taking pictures, hopefully posting some awesome video reactions, and then hopefully posting some awesome reactions to Hayden Hidlay winning his fifth ACC title, which is insane. So anyway, y'all, hey, as always, things are going great right now. Enjoy it. And as always, go Pack, y'all. We'll see y'all soon.
Go Pack.